What do you mean?
I'll show you when the screen shows.
All right, we are live. So now if I go back to OBS, I can...
I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay, call me Prophet J. Okay. I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay, call me Prophet J. Okay. I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay, call me Prophet J. Okay. I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay, call me Prophet J. Okay. Lead me to the stage, might go with some rage, might turn to another page. I know you wanna see me caged, I know that fear. Well, just listen here, God wakes me up in the ear. Wish fear could just disappear, need to deal with pressure from my peers. Wish I could just kick it in the rear. Soon 21, I'll still pass on the beer. Do it. I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay, call me Prophet J. Okay. I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay. Call me Prophet J. Okay. Rather have water instead, let's go multiply the bread. Don't want your soul to be dead. Rather have Brother Yoon in the name of feds. Why spray a bunch of lead? Doesn't make any sense. Why drive all the offense when you know it doesn't make amends? I pray God to catch you at your end. Even though it's difficult to breathe again after committing some deadly sin. But if we can't reap what we sow, then I pray God gets a hold before you dig a deeper hole. I pray God gets a hold of your soul before you lose all your control. Before you lose all your control. I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay, call me Prophet J. Okay. I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay, call me Prophet J. Okay. Help us to stay in meekness and not in our flesh, just weakness. Living for Jesus heals our broken pieces. Devil screams we don't need this. Why need a cheat when we already won? Jesus hung on the cross for our loss. Already done, yeah. I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay, call me Prophet J. Okay. I'm no rat guy, I just do the job and perfectly flash and then drop your jaw. Okay, call me Prophet J. Okay. You want me to stunt, shot me with your gun, thinking I was done, now you on the run. Try to frame me, try to blame me, strong family. Won't be able to deceive, they trust who is on the tree. If you fought like me, you would have victory. You want me to reply, pray my worries sky high. I don't have time for lies, this is my last goodbye. I am not your suicide. I said, I am not your suicide. Devil's minions fight for my dominion. They want me diminished. This race I will fin. White flag isn't in the ground. God brought me to bigger crowds. 116 is screaming loud. This race I will fin.
Hit me back out the jump with the front fake pump, so scam away. Don't play my way, the highway. You know you need me to the highest degree. To the highest degree, you're a attendee. Hit me back out the jump with the front fake pump, so scam away. Don't play my way, the highway.
There we go. Now we're good. All right. First live stream.
I
man.
know.
It's good. How you been?
I've been working my butt off at Chick-fil-A.
Nice. Staying plenty busy.
Yeah.
Cool. You still helping with Edinburgh or helping with Awana at church? Okay.
I'm returning this Wednesday.
Okay. Sweet. Sweet. Much fun. What else you been up to?
Doing a lot of podcasts by myself.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. Hopefully now you can do them live. I
I
just
know.
gave you like a really fast master course as fast as I could with getting it set up because time's limited and I had to solve a bunch of problems. But we're outside today.
Hey.
I'm gonna adjust this camera real quick. Get some better angles, some optics. Look at the snow on the ground, but it's like 50 degrees. It's warm. Not even wearing coats or nothing. It's great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man.
Been a little tired, but no matter how late I stay up, I've been always waking up at like 5:55 or around there at 6.
Nice. Wake up and get stuff done.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it.
And mainly setting myself up for closing Friday and waking up at like 6 something the following day.
Sure.
Because I start at 7 to 3 on Saturday.
Gotcha. Yep.
After I close.
That's a long shift, a long 2 shifts with a
Yeah.
short sleep.
But it's great. Been doing my best to car search and stuff.
Sweet.
But I am now finally in the 4,000s.
Dope. That's awesome. That's so
Yes.
good. That's
So-
so good.
We're getting up there slowly, but surely.
Yeah, that's how it goes, man. I am the opposite direction. I have as close to 0 as I am comfortable. No, I'm closer than I am comfortable with being to 0. It's a little scary, but work's about to pick up like crazy. Spring, everything's melting, so people are gonna want stuff. They want the project started.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go from working like 15 hours a week to working like 60 hours a week. Yeah, probably not 60 hours. It'll probably be like 50. But my boss was saying like, bro, if you wanted to work 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, we could probably pull that off. And I'm like, we'll see how it goes. I'm also still trying to record. Like, people are still coming over. They got stuff to do, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah.
Sounds like fun.
And then, of course, having tons of people over to the studio all the time. So, it's great. Get
Uh-huh.
some real quality recordings done.
Yeah, that downstairs has been transformed.
Yep. Oh, okay. So I went to Menards last week because I am finally getting started on acoustic treatment, right? So I went to Menards to figure out how much insulation costs and what the best insulation is to get. So the best insulation to get is $40 for about 6 cubic feet. And it's called Sound and Fire. It's great insulation for its sound, and it's also fireproof, which means if anything happens, I'm running lots of electronics, lights, stuff like that. It's going to be fireproof, which is really, really good.
Nice.
But $40 for 6 cubic feet is also kind of expensive because that's a 1 foot by 1 foot square costs $40. And I'm trying to line the entire room with at least 1 foot.
Whew.
Which means however long the wall is on both sides, up to the ceiling, which is like 7 feet to the ceiling. So basically each 1 foot costs more than $40 across the entire room. So for just the insulation too, that doesn't include the wood or anything. So it's going to be like a $5,000 project probably.
Oh.
Yeah, it's. I got home and did the math, and I was like, "Dang it! I am so broke. No money." But it's all good. I have a working car. I have a house, and it's good enough for recording vocals. It's just getting it that little bit better will make it better for mixing once all the vocals are already recorded and everything. And it'll make drum recording way better because the room affects everything so much more with drums. The vocals, I've got this mic right here. It just goes in and it's relatively contained to this microphone. But I'm excited and also terrified because I have no idea how I'm going to make enough money for that. But we'll see. Yeah, the other big exciting thing, as I'm sure you know, I'm getting married.
Ooh.
It's like 2.5
Drum
weeks
roll.
away now.
Or not drum roll, but yes.
We need to get some samples in here so we can just hit the button and much applause happen.
Yes.
But yeah,
It's like, hey.
bro, 2.5 weeks. And then I'm leaving for like a week because, we're getting married, so we're gonna get out of here. Do the whole thing, you know.
Dude, do you know where you guys
Yep.
are going to go?
Yep, we booked 2 Airbnbs in 2 different places in Colorado. So we're gonna drive out to Colorado, stay a couple days in Colorado Springs, and then halfway through the week we're gonna drive a couple hours up north to Estes Park, and we'll stay a couple days there, and then we'll mosey our way back home. That's all we've got so far. We like to be kind of spontaneous with that kind of stuff, but we'll be hitting Estes Park and a couple other places there, and hiking and waterfalls, and
Ooh.
probably not go swimming because it'll be all the ice water straight off the mountain. But we'll see. Who knows?
Oh, just a little dip.
But one of the Airbnbs has a hot tub, so we can always go do that.
Yeah. What if you get cold?
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's the Airbnb. So we looked at renting an Airbnb, and then we also looked at like traditional honeymoon resorts, and it's like half the price to rent a whole room to ourselves as it would be to like stay in a building with a ton of other couples. We don't want to be with them. We want our own thing.
Yeah,
So we're
for
getting
sure.
our own like room and everything. It's great. It's exciting.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, I'm pumped for that. And to not have to send Julie home at like 10:30 every night when she's like half asleep on the couch. It's like, Julie, you can't sleep here. Leave.
Right?
But it'll be nice not to have to do that.
I bet.
All right, you want to dive into what we have to talk about? What we decided we want to talk about? The reason for doing this podcast?
Do I need to get a swimsuit on?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can only do the show in swimsuits.
Yes.
Otherwise, nobody will watch.
Yeah.
Or maybe if we did it in swimsuits, nobody would watch.
No, they'd just be like,
They'd just be very distracted.
yeah.
It would be not very productive for the purpose of podcasting.
Yep. They're-
Be very distracted by what's going on underneath here,
Yeah, their eyes
Gotta
would be
keep it
fried.
hidden.
Yep.
True, it overexposed the camera too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's snow in the background. But
Yeah.
like that doesn't. I mean, the camera can expose for that, but
Yeah.
the amount of whiteness going on in here, nothing.
Nothing.
It is just a cheap laptop webcam after all.
Hey!
It works. It works.
I know. I'm teasing you.
Someday we'll get that $5,000 DSL camera, and then it'll look beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Just almost as beautiful as my face. Not quite.
Your words, not mine. Your words, not mine. The camera, ooh, it's amazing. Actually, I don't know. There's too many good cameras, but they're all way too expensive. So
All right. So the first one that we have came across is why to talk to someone who disagrees with you. Well, I think
I think that's an especially good question in today's world, right? Because I mean, how often do people go on and actually have conversations with people who they don't agree with?
instead of taking shots.
Right, instead of taking shots or ignoring or dismissing for whatever reason.
Yeah, because I just heard about that. This was a while back ago, but that taking shots at Britney Spears,
Sure.
like,
I haven't
Dude.
heard of that one, but I believe it.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
I thought social media was a tool to be helpful and not being distracted.
Right,
It's
right.
more, well, good. There's a good chunk of people using it as a distraction for other people or tearing walls down of good walls, but there's some bad walls that we should not be building, but sometimes we are.
Right.
And it's like, do you ever wonder the significance of us being called the United States?
Yeah. A lot of people are questioning that right now. Like, are we really united? Stuff like that. Which seems like a fair question right now. I don't know.
I think so too.
A lot of people don't feel united to even their neighbors. Because they just,
Because they're like, oh, what if this person believes this? And I might pull that trigger and be like, oh, I can't make a friend with this person.
yeah, it's kind of crazy right now.
So many misleading labels.
So, in all this world, we just kind of like covered, like, I mean, it's very acceptable right now in our culture to not talk to people who you disagree with. Why, in that, where's the value in talking with someone you disagree with? Like, is it not right to just not talk with people we disagree with? We can just ignore them. They can go over there, and we can stay over here. Like, do we need to talk to them?
I think to grow our character and to grow our um faith in what we believe,
Yeah.
I believe that's that's one way to build character,
Yeah.
even though it's
Definitely.
difficult.
Well, and I mean, I really like a quote that someone said, which goes, "You don't really know what you believe until you can argue the opposite of it."
Facts.
And I mean, you can like believe something and you can be sure of it, but if you don't know the other argument, what happens when you do hear the other argument? You're not prepared for it. So like, I really enjoyed watching a show called Devil's Advocate on YouTube, where someone who he's a conservative, he would argue the liberal point of view against a conservative, and there was some theatrics that he would do to that were kind of entertainment because his channel is really an entertainment channel, but there was also some things where he would bring up valid points that they had, and whoever he had on would give the counter argument, but it was kind of a good example of like, if you and you could tell he knew their argument. He was pulling their numbers and everything. He knew what he was talking about. It was a good example of like, he knew the opponent and his argument so well that there wasn't an argument that'd get brought up that he would have been surprised about. You'd know before it happened what they were gonna argue.
So he got his research done.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And then he went a little overboard and he dressed up kind of funny. He's like, "This is what liberal looks like," and he talked a little funny. He's like talking, he would refuse to use the person's like, he wouldn't call them a Mister or Mrs. He just called them like they or them and stuff like that. He's kind of went a little overboard with it to make it entertaining, but
Yeah.
but you could tell he knew what he was talking about. And even if you don't agree with his like what he actually believes, you might agree with the argument that he puts forward, but hopefully at least you could see the other argument that he's arguing against in a new light, where it's like, if you can understand that argument and you can understand where that person is coming from and why they believe that, when it comes to arguing about them, you might not end up deciding you can't be their friend. You might go, "You know what, I disagree with you on this deal, but like, I can understand why you feel that way. I can understand why you would believe that and act that way." And you're a more rounded person. You better understand and how to communicate with that person. It's not a matter of, can I be friends with you or could I work with you, like we seem to be seeing a lot right now with cancel culture. It's a matter of like, I disagree with you on these things, and I hope that you change your mind, but ultimately we're still both people and we're still trying to succeed in life, whatever that means, whether that means be successful, provide for your family. We're all the same, really.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Maybe traveling a different road, but yet doing pretty much the same things to get to our destination.
Yep.
And
Y'all can hear the birds in the background. It's so sweet.
it is very sweet, definitely. Um, There's, um, I now understand why my dad really didn't like do a whole lot when I got mad back when I was younger. And that is, well, I kind of had an example of that at work the other day. Not myself, but someone else. And I was like, pray for that person and just kind of let them air out a little bit, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think some people just need to air out.
Sure. Yeah, and you probably were able to understand why they were angry or whatever, because you've been angry before, and maybe you didn't understand their reason,
Yeah.
but it's like you can empathize with that person. Like, yeah, they just need some time. They need to think about it. They need to let the emotions cool off and think about it rationally rather than the emotional knee jerk reaction.
Yes.
And so just by knowing yourself, but then also talking with other people, you can realize that that happens, and sometimes that's the way it is, and they just need time and to back off instead of trying to get angry back at them or whatever.
Or even asking like a simple, slight word.
Right.
Like, instead of asking words, it's more so just let them find that cool breeze to chill out a little
To
bit.
de-escalate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. De-escalation is a huge skill that if you can learn, man, it'll serve you well. I had I had a friend growing up who he had some social issues. He's on some medication and stuff like that to help, but he just would lose his temper quick, but also didn't understand certain social cues, and that would leave him feeling left out or whatever. Um, and a lot of people would get really angry with him, or they would be like, "We can't hang out with him because when he gets angry, I feel unsafe or whatever." And for me, I never had that, and I think it was just because I think one, my parents made me spend more time with him. They went out of their way to ask me to be his friend, and through that, I don't know if I just learned de-escalation or if I learned it somewhere else, but I never had a problem because with him, it was just always like every situation, immediate de-escalate, like. And another like part of it would people want to be able to tell if he was like joking or if he was like actually angry or whatever, like that fine line between like him laughingly, "I'm gonna punch you in the face," and him actually getting angry, "I'm gonna punch you in the face," like is sometimes
Yeah.
a fine line. So that would scare people because they're not able to tell. And
Yes.
for whatever reason, this is something that he said to me. We're still good friends. He would say something along the lines of like, for whatever reason, when he was around me, he knew what was okay as a joke, and he instantly knew if he went too far as a joke, and he would make it very clear, like, I'm, like, not that he instantly said, "I'm sorry" and apologized, but, like, he instantly was able to feel, whether it was just from my body language or whatever, but it was like, that's, that's too far, I can take it back. And so, whatever reason, he couldn't read other people's social cues, which might have told him that, but he said he never, or at least compared to other people, he didn't have a problem with it. With me, he would be able to read my social cues and know when that joke wasn't funny. It was kind of scary. And I don't know, maybe it was because I wasn't afraid of him because we grew up together or whatever, but de-escalation is an amazing skill that if you can learn, I mean, it'll serve you so well. And people, it really should probably be taught, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause looking back, like I know I had a good sets of triggers that try to be pulled now, and I would react a whole different way. Like, kind of like a good example is, um, like hearing the doctor's orders of, oh, we can't hang out at the other home and whatnot and stuff like that, um, until this thing, but we can hang out at work after work.
Oh, you're talking about with Selena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I got out of that is to honor the true authority, is to honor the temporary holders of authority until they say, "Are you ready to denounce?"
Sure. Yep. Yep.
Something like that drastic. And just to honor God, to respect their authority until that happens. We may not always like the authority, just like with Biden too. I get
Or
it.
even Trump.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the people now just kind of backslid with that growth of adulthood. And it um I think we just need to be great examples of a placeholder of those things.
Yeah.
To
Well, and I think we've come to a mindset in America where people think of voting as a privilege, and or as a right and not as a privilege. Sorry, excuse me. Where people think, and in some senses it is, but there's also it's in some ways it is a privilege because it wasn't always there. Like if it's a right, everybody has the right to do it. Then you don't you don't necessarily have to. You're like, well, I have the right to. That doesn't mean I will. But that's kind of, if you think about it, like the classic one, you have the right to remain silent, right? That means you don't have to talk if the police officer can't tell you to talk, right? But if you want to, you can scream all you want. It'll just probably get used against you in court.
Yeah.
So the idea is you have the right to remain silent. You don't have to answer any questions because you don't want to say something wrong that could end up causing you trouble in the moment. So just because you have the right doesn't mean you have to. You could talk all you want. Probably not smart, but you could talk all you want. And a lot of times people think the same way with voting. I have the right to vote, which is technically true. Every citizen has the right to vote. But it's also a privilege because of the country we live in. And when you think of it like a privilege, it's like I get to vote, not I am able to vote. And when you think of it like I get to vote and you take ownership, like my vote does count in this country, you'll be more likely to actually like get involved.
Yes, and that's the mindset change that I had. Because back in July, I was like, I'm not going to. Like, why? Like, what if it gets messed with and become more of a scam than truth?
Right.
And I was basing so much reality on what ifs.
Sure. Yep.
And that's a scary thing.
Yep.
To
if you study argument, I mean that's one of the first things you learn is what is real logic, where it actually follows, and what is fallacies. And one of those fallacies, a fallacy is basically a flaw in the argument that seems true. One of those fallacies is what if. You can't live your life based off what if, because you could say what if anything. What if a meteor hit Earth and we all just died immediately? Like, are you gonna base your life on that? No, there's certain things you should take into account. Like, what if I'm the breadwinner for my family? I earn the majority of the money, and my family lives off my money. What if I die? Maybe I should go get life insurance, so if I die, my family's still covered. That's a what if that would make sense.
Yeah.
But you can't live your entire life based off what ifs.
And there's also what ifs that are more so of a picture in your mind rather than speaking it.
Right. Sure. Like self-doubt.
There could be like, oh, applying these pictures to what is actually happening, and it seems like this outcome could play out easily because everything is in line, but there's some little details that is missing to actually make this occur.
Yep.
Or because it's like, oh shoot, what if this happens and this guy persuades that she's not with the right person?
Sure.
Oh crap. And it's really hard on a person. It can be, if you don't do what is necessary to make sure to make sure like you will have the growth to make sure it won't backfire. But your parents are the first human sources of what love is.
Yeah.
So if it's a little shaky, might have some backfires. But if it results of a divorce, you may have a little harder time to open up and trusting.
Yeah.
And if a person would be like, oh, this person's not trustworthy, could that be a lack of faith
Right.
in that individual, or could that be a true thing? Like, we just don't know, and maybe just have to play it out.
And back to where we all started, the only way to find out is to talk to people. And so that's where the value of talking to people who you disagree with comes into play. It's like if you talk to people, you don't have to wonder, is it malicious or is it stupid, or did they do it on purpose to hurt me, or out of a lack of faith in God, or what. You can go to them and figure out. Now there's certain situations where you probably should not go talk to that person, but I think, and maybe you need to get it secondhand where you have someone go talk to them and they tell you. But I think if you're overcome with doubt and you're constantly thinking like negative thoughts about yourself or about this person, or just in general negative thoughts that are caused by another person, you should probably go figure out like what's actually true and what's just doubt that you're making up in your head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because it could just be a very dark fantasy that's just in your mind
Right.
that tries to keep you trapped, because from what I realized is the enemy does not want true identity on anything, so he's going to try to slander it to the best.
Right. Yep.
Especially marriage, especially love. Especially that covenant thing that God has blessed so much.
All right. So speaking about marriage, love, you're engaged.
Yes.
I'm engaged.
Yes.
I've been engaged since January,
I've been engaged since July.
and I'm getting married in 2.5 weeks.
I'm getting married in the summer of 2022.
It's a long time to be engaged.
Yep.
Is there a reason why you're engaged already?
Because it's a leap of faith kind of thing.
Sure. Okay.
And I've always been that like underdog, like that mentality of, hey, if some people say, oh, it won't work out, I'll prove you wrong when it will actually.
Sure.
Kind of thing.
Sure.
And yeah.
So what's the difference for you between being dating and being engaged?
Engagement just, I don't think solidify is the right word. Is that the right word?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
It just indicates, these two are getting married.
Sure.
Thing.
Okay. It's kind of like a plan thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you date to get married or to get your heart broken, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Is there water on there, or is that just me seeing things?
It's just me seeing things. Okay, never mind. We're good.
We're underneath the deck. It's a little drippy.
Yes.
I don't know. You probably could see some drips falling here.
Yeah, and on
that
your
one
hat.
hit that right here. Yeah. My hat. But we're trying to make sure the technology stays
Nice and dry.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't hit the computer, I'm not worried about, because this is one solid piece of metal, so that's not going to be a problem. My phone's waterproof. So.
Paper isn't. Just
This is
kidding.
true, but paper is recyclable, so you can always make new paper.
That's mean. I'm just messing with you.
I am a mean person. Get over it.
That's killing. Just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, but getting back to the conversation, yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
And like, for you, you have what it takes to have that short.
Sure. Yep.
You have a house, you have a
Yep.
car, you have
Yeah.
a reliable job.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm still searching that.
Sure.
I have a great job, but it probably won't become my career.
Yep.
I'm still searching that.
Sure. Yep.
Should that be a con? Could be, but could that also be a pro? Could be.
Sure. Yep.
To be patient and growing that muscle for the both of us, because like to know if you are able to, because a true couple is they're able to love each other and not own each other.
Right. Yep.
And that is, if you can't be far away from each other for a long time and can't be able to trust them and be like, oh, they might miss me so much they might do something stupid. Well, that's that. But
Yeah.
if they're able to, that's that.
Yeah, true.
So it's all about the right obstacle thing that God will use for your individual story of growth.
Yep. Makes sense.
That's just from my understanding.
Right. I mean, that's the thing with relationships in general is every person's so individual and so unique. There's no rules to follow. I mean, people suggest them, people can give you tips, but there's no real rules. You do what works for you guys. I mean, I guess there's one, which is like love Jesus first and it'll work. But people make relationships without even that. So follow the Bible. People make relationships work without that. But really, that's the only rule when it comes to it. So people will make them work without even following the rules. But everything else that people might say, you gotta date and then be engaged and get married. That's just a social construct. That's just a suggestion. God says take a husband and a wife for a life. That's all He says. He doesn't say you have to date them first to figure out if you like them or not. And you have to be engaged to take time to plan your wedding, and then you have to get married. So it's all. I mean, everybody's so different. It's kind of like you do what you need for you and your spouse.
I wish I had that buzzer. Like, there we go.
But yeah.
Mind blown.
So I mean, and part of that's where I mean I have a short engagement. Obviously, it's been a total. It'll be a little bit over 2 months long of an engagement. It seems like when I talk to people, it's been at first it was like 50-50, but I think now it's gotten like maybe 60-40. 60% of people are like, that is so smart, that's awesome, you great job doing that. The other 40% of people are like, that's really fast, like real fast. I don't know if you should be doing that, but I mean, even those people, they're not telling me I shouldn't do it. I guess they're just like, wow, that's unusual or whatever it is. But really, a lot of it comes down to timing, and then I know myself, and I know Julie and my relationship. We're ready. It's over Julie's spring break, which is gonna be awesome. So we'll have a week to just disappear into the mountains in Colorado.
That's
find
awesome.
some sunsets to walk off into. You know what I mean? All the fun stuff. It's gonna be a great week. I can't wait. And Julie's gonna have the week off of school, so she can't wait just on that fact alone. Plus, she's getting married, so she's like,
Super excited.
super excited. She's also busy out of her mind planning a wedding. But honestly, COVID has made it easier. It's been easier.
How so?
Because, like, we don't have to worry about food. We have a good excuse for not inviting, like, too many people. It's kind of great. Like, we've got our family coming, and then some close friends, and that's it. That's it. And we might
Makes
maybe
sense.
have some type of snack to go type thing.
Yeah.
But, like, we're not catering for everybody. We're not bringing in, like, sandwiches for everybody. We're not cutting a cake that's supposed to feed over 100 people. We're cutting a cake for Julie and I. We get our own personal cake all to ourselves.
Question, are you going to smash her mouth with it?
With the cake? We will see. Probably not, because she'll be in a very expensive dress. But we'll see. No promises. It could happen. But, yeah.
Those weddings are always fun.
Yeah, it should be a good day. Yeah, so I mean, like I was saying, some people are congratulating me on it, some people are questioning it, but I think a lot of people see it as a dating is figuring out, do you want to be with this person? Marriage is you've made that decision, you are with this person, and the engagement is just like a time period. A lot of people see it as engagement is just like kind of a, maybe not a pointless time period, but like for at very least it's a time period of extra high temptation. So it's like throughout this whole time, it's like really hard for Julie and I. Well, we're getting married anyways, and we're doing fortunately awesome, and my parents like immediately stepped in and were like helping us with that, as well as our marriage counselors. We're taking 2 premarital counseling classes, so we're seeing someone uh, like twice a week, basically. And unfortunately, they've been really helpful. But even still, it's like, well, yeah, we better not. But like, if we really want to, and we're getting married anyway, and we really, really want to.
I know they all add up. Mm-hmm.
But so part of it for us is if we were engaged even this long, it's too long, man. It's too long. I just want to be married already. I'm sick of this in between phase. It's ridiculous.
Man, you're awesome. I like your views on that a lot better than what I've heard or what I've been taught.
Man, so
In my personal.
Obviously I'm in it right now. So who knows what my hindsight will be when I'm looking back in 2 years. But premarital counseling is awesome. It's fun. Literally, it's like Julie and I get to hang out and talk for like an hour. Usually is how long a session is, and then we have a video series that so one is just literally like therapist on a couch and us two are chilling on our couch at home because Zoom, and then the other one is like we watch a video and then we go talk about the recap of the video afterwards with the pastor at church. But literally, it's just like, I mean, basically all it is they're directing our conversations so that they're a little bit more productive than just a normal hangout. But like, it's literally we're just hanging out and having a good conversation, talking about our dreams and our goals and whatever we want. It's real nice.
That sounds nice.
I highly recommend taking some counseling.
Mm-hmm.
You guys could probably even start now, even though it's a ways away. Just start now and take sessions very spread out so you can have time to talk about things in between. Because obviously, like I said, we're doing like two things a week, if not more. So last Monday night, we had a session where we met on Zoom with one counselor. And then I think tomorrow night we'll be watching a video, which I believe is with a video of Dave Ramsey, so that'll be good. He's such a great speaker. And then Monday we'll be meeting with the pastor from church to go over the last.
Why do
two
I know
videos
that
we
name?
Watched. Financial Peace University.
Dave Ramsey.
Yep. If you are in debt, talk to Dave Ramsey. If you're struggling with money, talk to Dave Ramsey. He's like the money guy.
I've heard of him.
Of course you've heard of him. Everybody's heard of him. Ruslan talks about him. Ruslan taught his course at his church. My parents went through their course. Julie's mom went through his course. It's a great course, and we watched one of the videos in his course for our course. They kind of he allowed them to use it or whatever. It's so good. It was so good. But yeah, I mean, highly recommend premarital counseling. It's been awesome.
And so you said that you can do it through Zoom?
So
Or is it more like
it's
kinda-
it's up to the people.
and what works?
Right. So the one that we're doing through church, we will meet with, Pastor Bob? We'll meet with Pastor Bob on Sundays.
Yeah.
Basically every other Sunday is what we've been doing. And then in between the Sundays, we watch videos that he's given us to watch. So Julie and I will watch a video together, and then we'll meet with Bob to talk about it. We meet in person. Our other one, which is with a counseling company, they do therapy. I think they do therapy and counseling and stuff. With that one, we meet with him over Zoom. He's elderly, and he has some concerns with COVID and stuff like that. So he asked us to meet on Zoom.
Makes sense.
All right, I need to pee. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. If you could hold down the fort, that'd be great. Keep the viewers entertained. I'll be right back.
I'm holding the fort. Oh, buddy. Really? I hope this doesn't crush me. Oh. Okay. We're getting a good workout here. We're holding the tavern up. Shout out to my pops there. Now the seat's getting wet. You left. Oh, man. Feeling that workout. Yes! That great sunshine right in the eyes. Well, at least it didn't actually blind me, so. Oh! Oh! Oh, snap! Oh, no. Oh, no.
You are absolutely ridiculous. All right, I am back. Sorry for the short
Oh,
break.
that was great. Thank you for the workout.
Oh yeah, no problem. All right,
I was holding the tavern up. That's what's up.
the tavern.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, where were we?
That's an oldie. That's an oldie shout out.
All right, do you want to jump into that one?
You want to say it though?
Sure.
I said the other two.
What?
Meaning I stated.
Yeah, but I brought them up. All right.
I brought this one up.
Yeah, no, I mean like, I was the one who introduced them in the live stream.
I did.
I was like, speaking about love and marriage, let's talk about long engagement versus short engagements.
Oh wait, I did the first one. You just okay. So that's how we do. Okay.
Gotta think of that smooth transition. All right, I'll think of a smooth transition. Unless you have a personal example to jump in with, because that would be ideal, I think. Tell me a story.
Do I have to get vulnerable?
No,
No.
you don't have to get vulnerable.
But my mindset is feeling that.
You don't have to get vulnerable. Make it funny.
Make it funny.
Make
Okay.
it funny. Unless you want to make it dramatic and then give me like the details and the gossip. Not in a bad way, gossip. The gossip. The juice, the tea.
Oh boy, you're awesome.
I want to be entertained here, okay? That's why I tuned into this podcast.
Oh. You know that story in the Bible about this man who fell from time to time, but yet he still had that stamp of being labeled called a man after God's own heart?
Didn't he only fall one time according to the Bible? I thought you were talking about Samson for a second. He fell time and time and time. Anyways, are you talking about David, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I know what you're talking about. What story? He's got a couple stories.
Well, I'll just let the mind run wild with that, but I'm just messing with you. Well, for sure, but, well,
Where are you going with this, buddy? Take me on a story, Chief.
he almost got this husband killed.
No, he did get the husband killed.
Okay.
Straight murdered.
I need to redo my research.
And if that's murder, there's a couple other things happen in this world that are murder.
Dun dun dun. Okay. You know how he got his her white or
Her husband, for clarification. Johnny's having a tough day. I think he needs to go to the bathroom now. Bathroom break 2. My turn to hold down the fort. I did say hold down the fort before, right?
Yeah. I was the one that said holding the tavern.
Okay.
Stop, Wendy. No. Not Wendy, Wendy.
Stop that, Wendy. She's getting away. I'm having too much fun out here. Causing problems.
Yeah. Just kidding.
All right, so David.
Yes. How he got the husband of the wife. What's his name?
She got this man murdered. I don't know his name. He murdered a man because he slept with his wife.
Yeah. So his grief and not grief, his guilt. Man, I am My vocabulary is not A B C D E F G order. That was clever.
Keep going. Keep
Um,
going.
but his guilt really drove him up the wall, and he's like, "Man, if this man, I'm guessing this is what he was thinking. If this man was still alive, man, he's gonna be a walking reminder of my guilt. So I need to take him off this earth." And personally, I know how he felt at that time. Have I felt like that before? Yes. But and he really wanted to be with her, which eventually he did. And stuff like that.
Well, and part of the problem is in the story he refused. So David got this woman pregnant. She was married to another man, and so he tried to get the man to come home, so that the man would sleep with his own wife, and thereby he could say it was his kid when it was really David. He could say it was the husband's kid when it was really David's child.
Covering up.
And the man came home and said, "How am I going to lay in my own bed and sleep with my own wife when my men, my fellow soldiers, are on the front lines dying in war?" And so he refused. And David was like, "What the heck? He's going to know he didn't sleep with his wife because he refused. And people are still going to figure out that she was, slept with, and it's going to be a problem." And so he then, at that point, he decided he had to kill the person and take her as his wife, because it is a sin to, and in that time, Israel was ruled by God, and what is a sin was also a law. So if he didn't do that, she was technically able to be murdered according to law, and I believe he was as well, for having basically adultery, committing adultery is the way the Bible phrases it. Basically having sex outside of marriage, cheating, and sleeping with someone else's partner.
Mm-hmm. And nowadays that doesn't get frowned upon, at least in the world culture.
Yep. Well, cheating still gets frowned upon, but that's about it.
And in its weird ways it does, but yet again, in some ways it doesn't.
Well, it gets frowned upon when it's behind their back and it's not with consent. There are definitely relationships where they call them open relationships, where they say, "Yeah, we're not mutually exclusive to being sexually intimate with each other." That's not cheating anymore because they know about it. But in our culture, cheating is still very frowned upon.
Yeah.
But both are wrong either way. So.
Yeah. And I had a talk with my grandma yesterday that when somebody takes a part of that, their suicide rate will go up higher.
Interesting.
Especially if they are a Christian and lost their way.
Sure.
But even if they're not, yet there's some that probably won't, but
Right.
yet there's some that still do.
Sure. Yep.
And it's like, whoa. But how in the world? Well, so that kind of opens up to the next topic of, can you be doing God's will even when some Christians think you're not? Even when you're trying to cover it up? Even when you stumble? Because when somebody says, my fire for God will never be snuffed out, some can take it as a prideful statement, be like, I'm never going to fall.
Sure.
But the truth of the matter is, it actually means no matter how many times I fall, no matter how much pressure I will have, I will always still keep on getting back up again after again and again and
Yep.
keeps on getting back up. And I heard last night about God uses obstacles in our life to bring us back or bring us to Him.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of like, so when He allows something to happen, could that be meaning? Well, it's a meaning of a few different things. Your own faith, your strength, your character,
Mm-hmm.
your trust,
Yep.
and your commitment, and also how you will benefit in another person's valley that is either the same or very similar.
Sure. Yeah.
And
I mean, the one thing I can say real quick is God never causes sin ever. He may allow it, which you can kind of see in the story of Job, where God allows Satan to hurt Job, but God will never say God never makes someone sin. He's not responsible for a sin. There's a big difference between allowing something to happen and causing it to happen.
because, and kind of like in a marriage, if you lead your spouse in the wrong way, then that's causing it to happen. But if you don't lead them in that way, but yet they want to go and you're fine with it, then you're allowing it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, if someone was filing divorce, you're not, by allowing them to do it, you're not. That's not being complicit with the breaking up of that marriage, assuming it's for an unjustified reason. That's not like you're being complicit with it. You wouldn't stop them because you don't have that authority over another human being.
Mm-hmm. Feels like all my train of thoughts just went derailed. I got nothing.
All right. Did you have something and now you have nothing, or
No.
are we moving on?
I just felt like all my files got erased.
Dang. Well, we have been going for almost an hour now.
Yeah.
Let's see what time it says on the YouTubes. 54 minutes and 48 seconds, I think.
Dun, dun,
that's
dun.
average watch time. Someone's been watching this whole time,
Hey.
I think. Maybe, I don't know.
because in the corner up here,
It might be us watching the whole time.
it says.
There we go. 57 and 53.
Yep.
And that's maybe 30 seconds behind is roughly how it works.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's actually us spend viewing in this little viewer here. But still.
That makes sense.
Anyways. Although then it would be the whole time. So I don't know how that's even possible, actually. Anyways. Should we just call it there and wrap it up?
Well,
You said you got to book it at 1, right?
there's also a topic right here.
Yeah, no, I know. It's whatever. We can do whatever we want.
I know. Wait, he said we can do whatever.
Yep.
So if you're watching live at this second, comment below.
Yes, sir.
And if you haven't subscribed already,
hit that subscribe button. I stole that from somebody who's already a YouTuber. If you know who that's from, give him a shout out in the comments. Thanks. Bye.
yes, and also give this video a big fat juicy thumbs up. And if you want,
Because it'll help the YouTube algorithm. Again, stolen from another YouTuber.
dun
Actually,
dun
most of
dun.
This video is sponsored by the like button. Every time you give the like button a big thumbs up, it helps this video in the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, that's more stolen from him than my first attempt. My whole YouTube channel is just going to be me stealing things from other YouTubers and copying them.
You thief. Just kidding.
Hi guys, this is Josiah and Johnny here. Hi Josiah and Johnny here. This is Guys. This dude, he does this so well on the spot. He just opens up his videos like, hi audience, this is Guys here, and just goes into his video like no breaks. It just makes it look so natural. It's great. Or he'll flip it up in one other way. It's great.
Like, could he say like, "Hi guys, I hope you enjoy the audience," or I don't know.
Well, I just
Or
yeah, replaced audience for his
The
own
name,
name
yeah.
actually. Oh, I should have said YouTuber. Hi YouTuber, this is Guys here. Instead of hi guys, this is YouTuber here.
It's a lovely day, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
I
I feel like we
Nate!
could make a whole nother video about that final topic, which is just kind of wrapping up a lot of what we've talked about. It hasn't been, obviously, it's just a podcast, we're just hanging out, but
Yeah.
we were kind of hoping to get to how to talk to people you disagree with, because a lot of these things we've come to are, caused by disagreements. If you put it sideways, my dude, it can't roll. Physics. Anyways,
I was doing that to see if you're paying attention.
yeah, that's what they all say. So, I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just touch on it briefly, and maybe we'll come back and do a more in-depth video. But like, a lot of issues come up when you're not good at talking with people you disagree with. So I mean, if you can find ways to talk with people you disagree with and do it efficiently and well,
It would benefit your marriage in the long run
it would
as
benefit
well.
your marriage. It would benefit your friendships. It will benefit your work. You disagree with people everywhere, right? Everybody's different. So it's like, if you can figure out how to talk to people you disagree with, how to get to the root issue and not argue about whatever
surface
surface
yeah.
issue, you start arguing with someone about whether or not everybody needs to wear masks inside the building, right? And you're arguing about masks, blah, 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 blah.
Or if you accidentally forget one, because,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Well, like if you get into an argument with someone, they're like insistent, you need to wear a mask all the time. And you're like, I mean, they're only kind of helpful. So probably just inside, you probably don't need to wear them outside. And even inside is, you stay away from people. It's going to be more beneficial than wearing a mask. You got this disagreement, right? And you're butting heads. That could be a real problematic, right? Say they have the power. It's their store. They can say, you can't come into my store. Hopefully you just put on a mask and go with what they want, because it's their store and who really cares anyways.
And that's also honoring God by respecting the authority.
Right, yep. But really, that's not the root of the issue. The root of the issue is you disagree on the deadliness of COVID and maybe the best way to react to it as a broad general thing, right? So you might get to that root of the issue and you go, hey, dude, I have asthma. If I wear my mask, it literally could cause me to run out of oxygen in my lungs and cause me some major problems. Is there anything else I could do? Like, can I just shop online? And he might be like, yo, that's totally cool. Shop online. You don't even have to come to my store and it's not a problem. And stay away from me in the park, right? Because you might not know that he's got a health issue. Maybe he's got, I think the number one comorbidity for COVID is being overweight. So maybe he's got family members who are overweight and they've got whatever. So, they've got some diabetes or some type of disease that causes them to be overweight or to not be able to eat regular foods. And that could be a very real thing in his life where he has a valid reason for being a little bit more worried. And you might disagree on whether or not masks are the right solution to that. And maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. Who am I to say? Far beyond me. So I'll wear my mask when I go inside. I'll take it off when I get outside because that seems to be what people are saying. But like, man, get to that root of the issue. You don't have to worry about like whether or not you really believe the masks are the problem. You can just agree that for him, he needs to be more careful. And for you, you need to be wary of not taking in recycled air from within your mask because that can be dangerous too. So anyways, that's just a quick example.
And maybe also wash your masks.
Facts. I don't do that enough.
If they're washable.
But yeah. Anyways, that was a quick little sprinkle of that topic. Maybe we'll come back another time and
we
go
just
over
built
it.
a cake right here. We did a lot of deep discussion of the 3 different layers, and then
Yeah,
we
we did.
just sprinkled the
Put
top
some
with
sprinkles on it.
yeah,
Three
like a
different flavors.
boss.
Yeah, man. All right.
Vanilla,
Well,
chocolate, and strawberry. Just kidding.
that was a good stream. Thanks to anybody who watches. Have a great day.